Another day, another event right here at CC Hub Namibia, where developers and innovators come together to collaborate and create magic. My name is Anna Raizakoya, and today on Novelty, we will be discussing all things facial recognition. I'm sure you are familiar with that term, and if you're not, do not despair, because I've got you covered. This is Novelty. Another day, another event right here at CC Hub, and right now we are having a conversation with the community manager for CC Hub. His name is Ephraim. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am fantastic. Tell us about what is happening here today.
Alright, so basically what's happening, we're having an event called Dev Junction, and the whole idea is basically for skills development, capacity development. And this is actually originally from Rwanda, where we have different communities in Kenya, Nigeria, and as mentioned Rwanda. So we're trying to replicate what happened in other regions here in Namibia. We actually bring developers, and the whole idea is for these guys to network and ideally to collaborate and innovate. So we have a number of events every week. As I mentioned, the Dev Junctions, where we then bring experts from the industry, and as well as just developers to come together and the idea is to co-create and collaborate as well. So for instance, today we obviously talk about training topics. Since we are also focusing on fourth industrial, moving the fifth industrial revolution, we try to take on big topics that are more trending and obviously relevant to today's world. So one of the topics that we're usually covering today is the use of AI when it comes to facial recognition, right? So you did notice that everything used nowadays, your phone, when you unlock your phone, it uses your facial recognition. When you go on social media, automatically picks up your face. And obviously moving towards smart cities where we're employing a lot of facial recognition softwares and technologies. We want to then equip our, especially the youth and students, especially from young developers, with skills that they can definitely bring some of the social issues as well. Of course, tackling some of the challenges we have facing as a country. So we are having kind of like a hands-on training where we have a facilitator who obviously has some sort of knowledge when it comes to facial recognition, and then he will be sharing his skills with the participant. And the wonderful thing about it is that the students actually do this hands-on while the trainer is also doing the training. So it's not only about we're trying to move away from traditional and where someone just we have a teacher or lecturer just simply in front.
Yeah, and then you just follow.
Exactly, follow, and then you take notes, and then you go home and forget.
Yeah.
So we're trying to use a different approach, which has proven to actually work, especially for developers. You can't teach a developer the same way you teach an accountant.
Yeah.
Right. So we use a different approach where we actually focus more on practical part of it, and we dive more into relevant topics, touch more on training topics, such as AI, IoT, network things, and so on.
All right. Seeing that today the focus is facial recognition, walk us through what is facial recognition, because yes, we see it on our phones. We see that smart gadgets are starting to pick up our faces. Is there more to facial recognition, or is just like a smart gadget detecting your face? What is facial recognition? So
generally, people define facial recognition as some sort of AI technology that has the capability of identifying faces from digital images or videos, right? But then this is basically just the bottom of what facial recognition can do. Imagine living in a world where you are, someone steals something in a shop, right? And then your face obviously is captured, and then you go to a different town, and then obviously with this interconnected, let's say smart city, your image, or you'll be able to be, the authority can actually know where you are at the moment because your face has been detected somewhere in a different town. So there's a lot facial recognition can do, and I believe especially where countries such as Namibia or let me say Africa at large can and we have the capability of actually enhancing facial recognition when it comes to our day-to-day activities. Yeah.
All right, and what are the steps thereof to facial recognition? What coding do you use for facial recognition? Maybe you can walk us through, the scientific steps if you have the know-how.
Yes, of course, I do. Not to go into details. One of the, I would say, and this is for the viewers as well, if you are, young individuals who's intrigued about how this works and you want to understand where to start, learn Python. Python has, there's like a lot you can do with Python. Okay. Not only facial recognition, you can do machine learning, a lot of stuff. If you ever wondered how ChatGPT works, that's part of Python. Python is actually a programming language, which is actually a simple version of most programming languages. It's easy to learn, so it's definitely something I would advise, especially the youth, given that now we are moving towards a more AI-driven world. Start learning these skills. So basically, with that said, you just need a lot of data. This is how it works. It's basically just having a lot of data and creating a data set and then feeding that data set into a model, either already existing model or you build your own model depending on how deep you are into it, and then your model will be able to then, so this model is trained and then obviously tested to see how accurate the data is and how accurate the model is, and then from there you can do quite a lot. I'd say.
Would you encourage somebody to study data science maybe?
I encourage, yes, absolutely. I would definitely encourage them to study data science, machine learning. So data science actually incorporates a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely, we are moving, like I mentioned earlier, we are moving towards an AI-driven world, and if you want to be part of it, you also need to, stay updated with what's going on. This includes you knowing, the upcoming languages, especially Python, like I mentioned earlier. There are quite a number of other languages you can learn. So I'll definitely encourage them to do data science. Be a data scientist.
Yeah.
If you want to aspire.
Why is it important for CC Hub to, build a community for scientists, developers, and innovators to come together and hopefully collaborate?
Yes, I love the fact that you mentioned collaborate. That's actually one of our main focus at CC Hub. We understand, and this has been proven scientifically, that when you bring two different individuals with different backgrounds in the same room, it creates like a kind of a space of serendipity where people will come up with new innovative ideas that no one ever thought of. So the whole idea of us bringing these individuals together is because we want them to collaborate. Personally, that's what I believe in. I really want them to collaborate and co-create.
Okay.
And given that CC Hub has a larger footprint all over Africa, it's easy for us to connect these different individuals from Namibia, Kenya, Rwanda, and any other place or any other country in Africa to actually come together and co-create. I often tell people that you only know what you're exposed to.
Yes.
So if someone in Namibia is exposed to something different compared to someone in Nigeria, obviously they have different backgrounds, they have different learnings, and when you bring these guys together, they can definitely create something amazing. So CC Hub is kind of creating that platform and nurturing environment where innovation can happen through collaboration, and also just having a lot of events, capacity development, and also again activating people's mind and also changing people's mindsets.
Okay, you spoke about having a lot of events. As a community manager, how do you then create this community of innovators, of scientists to come together? What are some of the communication models that you implement to ensure that you have a community at the end of the day that attends your events, that is interested in the events that you are hosting?
That's a good question, and I mean, honestly, I would say that's some of the main challenge I face as a community manager. It's kind of trying to keep up with people's interests, you know. But how we do and how we navigate is like I try to stay updated with the fun stuff that obviously you see the room is full of students, because they want to learn about the new fancy facial recognition system. So what we do is we need to understand the community, what people want. You need to curate events for them, and obviously when you are curating these events, you need to make sure that it has some sort of interest, and not only interest but also some sort of impact. Hence why we're doing the facial recognition, because we believe when people learn something from this ongoing session or workshop, they can go out there and implement something or innovate something, or apply this to a project that they're working on to make it more valuable and make it more easily say accessible for people actually to want it, for it to run the market. Exactly.
Would you say Namibia is a friendly market to upcoming innovators and developers?
Yes, 100%. If you have to do research, you will find out that Namibia is a safe haven. Safe haven for prototyping. So if you're an upcoming developer or upcoming entrepreneur or innovator, this would be the perfect place for you. One, because of the infrastructure we have, the economic stability, and a lot of things that we have as Namibia. It kind of creates that nurturing environment for prototyping your let's say your MVP.
All right, walk us through some of the events that you have coming up, since you say you try to have events almost every week or every month here at CC Hub. Maybe you can give us a little bit of just what we can look forward to.
Absolutely. You guys will be hearing a lot, especially the upcoming weeks in April. Some events are a surprise, but few that I can mention, we'll be having a hackathon, and then as we will also be having we call it the human-centric design workshop, because we understand that in order for you to develop something that actually makes it onto the market and people will be interested, in order for you to gain more demand for your product, you need to understand who you're building that for, in order for it to actually to be a success. Other than that, we'll definitely be having more of the dev junctions, because again we're trying to activate the community, and we're trying to create some sort of norm, and create a place for developers to go to and kind of feel like they're home, and being around the same individuals who are tech enthusiasts and so on, like-minded individuals. Apart from that, we'll be focusing as well as on the creative economy. We'll be having more of the creative events, and again, apart from that, we'll also be focusing on the startup ecosystem. We'll be having startup mixes. So the whole idea again is to bring people together to collaborate and co-create. So yeah, we'll be having quite a number of events.
I enjoyed your startup mixer last year. I think that was brilliant. You should have more of those. Seeing that you have footprints all over Africa, in most of the African countries, how do you then implement the solutions from, for example, Kenya, and solutions from Namibia to create this unified product?
I mean, even though we live in different parts of Africa, we still face the same problems. Same problems we face in Kenya are the same problems we face in Ghana, Nigeria, Namibia, and so on. So it's easy to replicate some of these things. And the good thing is that if something was already done in Kenya, we then try to adopt the same approach here in Namibia, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So given that something already worked in Kenya, and obviously we are facing the same challenges, it can easily be replicated in other African countries. So again, that's where CC Hub comes in, right? So if they have done something successfully in Kenya or Nigeria, they can replicate it here in Namibia. And again, it comes to allocating resources at the right place, because obviously there's been more learnings from the experience and so on.
Okay, and finally, seeing that you're a community manager, what are your What do you hope to achieve in your career?
Ooh, I didn't expect that one. Obviously, my boss or my line manager always says that you can't be paid to be a community manager. You have to be born with it, right? It's something that just is passion for you.
Yeah.
I can stay here until 10 o'clock because I love doing what I'm doing at the moment. And obviously it's more of like the impact I'm putting out there.
Yeah.
And I think it also aligns with my goal as a person, as an African, to actually put Africa where it belongs on the map, on the world map. I believe we have the right people. I mean, we have the capability, we have the talent to put Africa on the map when it comes to innovation.
Yeah.
I believe Africa can be number one when it comes to innovation. So, and me contributing to that makes me feel like I'm adding value. That's my goal that I do there.
All right, thank you very much, Ephraim, for talking to us. I wish you all the best, and may you tick off more and more of your goals. We'll be right back. Stay with us right here on Novelty.
Hi, my name is Consisa Uyuni. Developer's name is Avatar Cora, and I am a software engineer and data scientist. And today's session was very informative. I actually have a course named Artificial Intelligence right now as a third-year software engineering student, and today gave me an idea of my assignment project on what I can build using the machine learning skills that I learned here today. As for facial recognition in whole, I find it as a up-and-coming necessity as Namibia tends to integrate, or as Namibia plans on integrating themselves into the tech world. Everything relies on biometric identification these days, and it would be nice to build my own facial recognition AI. Growing up, I've always loved mathematics and everything that has to do with maths. As for computing in particular, my love for it stems from curiosity. Studying this was a out of the blue decision. I didn't know any background knowledge on it, but I knew that I loved math, and I knew that I was a quick learner, and I knew that I could adapt anyway. So as the years keep going, I just keep falling more and more in love with it, and I keep discovering new things, especially with AI. I have a knack for AI right now, especially with people pushing out different versions of chat and Gemini that just came out from Google. I would especially like to work on my own African or SADC based AI specifically that would integrate our cultures and our languages and would bridge the gap between the Western world and Africa, because there's quite a gap right now, but it's on us as the youth to bridge that gap. I would encourage someone to study software engineering with an open mind. You have to be willing to be a sponge, a literal sponge. Take everything as it comes and don't think that you know it all or that you can study on your own. One surprise that I encountered in this course is that this is a community-based career path and course in general. You cannot do it on your own. You have to have help from other developers. You have to come into contact with other developers, preferably people who are already in the industry, people who are more advanced than you, and you have to be humble enough to just keep learning. You have to be curious all the time. You have to want to sponge up new information as it comes, because with IT, we are always getting updates. One day you have Python version 3.5, after 2 months you have Python version 4, so you have to be very curious and you have to kind of want to do it, even if you don't know what you're doing, and even if you're like me and you kind of just dive right in. And machine learning isn't really a threat on human employment. Rather, I see it as an opportunity for human beings to step out of the boxes that we'd set ourselves for. The usual norm is if you're a doctor or a lawyer, an engineer, you are top tier and that's the only thing to go for. But with AI, we're kind of being challenged to step out of our comfort zones and to embrace new opportunities and new employment options that are coming up. Because with AI, yes, it's going to eliminate some jobs, but it's also going to come with new ones that don't even have to have a person being tech-based. We have to have prompt engineers now. We have to have AI model trainers now. We have to have people who will focus on the human-computing interaction phase. Those are things that have nothing to do with coding. So it's not a thing of, oh, I only have to learn how to code in order to fit into the AI world. You just have to have an open mind and look at the new opportunities, because they are quite beautiful actually.
Hi, my name is David Buta. I'm a second year computer science student at NAS. I'm currently majoring in communication networks, and I also have a deep love for software development and artificial intelligence. Well, today's session was really good. I learned how to build a facial recognition model. I also learned that the same principle can be applied in other areas, for example, in plant recognition, in animal recognition, or for example in numbers recognition. And I would like each and every student out there to study STEM. Well, first of all is because most economies depend in one way or another in the STEM field to develop, be it engineering, medicine, computer science, or even mathematics. It all plays a big role in economic development, and also there are a lot of opportunities in the STEM field, especially when one when one is focused. By that time, you attend conferences. You in one way or another you do projects on your side in relation to your field. What else? You teach others, be it in the conference itself, or you organize workshops. And also, if you, for example, just use the internet as a tool to learn and find and look into how others use STEM in their lives, I think it can be a really great field for whoever is watching. My love for STEM comes since primary school. I've always loved sciences. I majored in natural sciences in high school. I passed with excellent grades, and yeah, I'm studying computer science currently. I would like to apply my computer science knowledge, for example, in an area like medicine or agriculture or even engineering. So one of my plans is to, once I get my degree and great work experience, to do a master's degree, for example, in engineering or biomaterial science, just so that I bring my insights into that field and then learn more into how I can apply how I can combine the knowledge from that field to make Namibia a better place. In my personal opinion, there are two ways to see AI. Of course, it can be a tool for bad. There might be people already using it out for war, or to do harm, or in cybersecurity to hack other people's systems and steal their private information. But on the other hand, AI is creating many new jobs in new fields that have just appeared now, and at the same time, it is replacing those fields that, for example, whose daily job can be automated using AI. So, for example, if your job what used to be to receive people's CVs and then you analyze them to check if there's an error in spelling, or if you didn't fill the CVs form correctly, we can use AI to do that job for you, and then instead of you being fired, you can simply be moved to being an AI developer. So they on one side it is replacing a lot of jobs. On the other side, it is creating a lot of jobs for those that use it as a tool.
My name is Wilbert Lazarus. I'm a cybersecurity student at NAST and also a tech enthusiast. Today's session was very informative. It was quite simple and straightforward. Usually I would take facial recognition as some complex systems that maybe you code in Chinese and so forth. But it was just a few lines of code and then voila, everything is running. My love for STEM actually comes from seeing other people from different countries doing things. And in Africa we mostly see technology as a foreign object or as an intrusion, but we basically have to challenge ourselves to be innovative, to bring up things, and also to challenge all that yes, we can be able to do something.
That is all the time we had for you right here on today's edition of Novelty. We will see you again, same time, same place next week. And on that note, it's all my love, all my light. Don't forget to be discovery.